my boss out the window and got fired from my last job. Hot-wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Paid my brother-in-law half to death. Lost 20 bucks
on his football bet.
But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys.
Thank you, folks, for tuning in. Ash and I are just listening to some music and having a conversation.
That's all we ever do.
Welcome to the Wade and
morning.
Carter Show. Welcome to the South Texas TV studios, where we're thrilled to be a part of Thrive Fuel, the Magic 95.9 communication empire.
They just opened up a brand new office in Cuero. Did not get to the grand opening the other day, but
Thrive did?
Yes, they did. But they now have an office in Cuero to better serve folks in that region. They've learned from Alan Miller.
They put a laptop in the bathroom there at that Valero. Call that an office?
Exactly.
A lot of
like Arthur.
a lot of commercial
Arthur
space.
Fonzarelli's
Right. Hey, come on down to the office.
So, yeah. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the South Texas TV studio. Ash Wade, Brent Carter, the Wade and Carter Show, live from the Tower of Power.
Mostly live. Victoria Tower.
Slight delay, maybe.
Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. This is the weekend.
Yep.
If you did not heed
this weekend,
if you did not heed, and if you care, if you want to make Victoria beautiful, if you are, dare I say, a Victorian, a Texan, and an American.
How dare you say?
Get by AT Deerland Feed this weekend. Pick up the 21-7-14 blend. I call it the Wade and Carter blend, and they load it up in my truck. Take it home, spread it on your lawn, and it will pop. I'm telling you, there's a pretty good chance of rain over the weekend. If you get it down this evening, it doesn't get dark till 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Put your beer down, spread the fertilizer.
Heck, you don't even have to put the beer down.
Oh, they've got a holder now. On some of
You
those.
don't even get one of those helmets with the two beer holders and the straws.
Hey.
You're good.
Dun, 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 dun. That's your guys. But I'm not
if
kidding
you can't push a fertilizer spreader with one hand while
Hey,
holding the
man.
beer with the other, you shouldn't be drinking beer.
Have a teenager, you know? 70 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today. If they finally admit it, 90. You
Yep.
know it was over 90 yesterday.
It was not. I don't think it was.
Chance
But anyway.
of some showers this evening. The key on that fertilizer, it's not as bad as it used to be because it's all in like little time-release pellets. It used to be paramount that you got some water on that fertilizer or it
you
would
burned-
basically
yeah.
burn your grass. That's
Man,
not the case.
Gone are the days when you used to be able to write messages in the neighbors' yards that you
with
didn't like with fertilizer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now you have to use Roundup.
Yeah, and I don't like killing the grass. That's just so permanent.
Right? All over a high school girlfriend. It's just not worth it. It's a great week for you guys to call in.
That was eggs when they were cheap.
Oh. And you know what's funny now? Like, I got a buddy, some teenagers thought it'd be funny to egg his house. Well, he had stucco, and like something in the egg when the sun hit it the next day,
Baked it on
permanently stained the stucco. It cost like $7,500.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
It's beyond misdemeanor at that point.
Almost as much as what the eggs cost these days.
Felony mischievousness.
Thanks to your president. Let's go through roll call, and we'll talk a little bit more about him. Scott Tomko, good morning. Christina Wise is in. Hope all is well. Christina, Judge Posey, good morning. Stuart Martin checking in. Bobby Leister, good morning to you, sir. Patricia Nagel, good morning. Daniel Wade White, thank you, Patricia. We appreciate you all as well. David Glass, Janie Alvarez. We'll get to the Emmy Science Foundation raffle in a little bit here. Ricky King, good morning. Diane Tippett. Scott Tomko, Scott Snow, Justin Glass, Peter McNally. College World Series or college baseball tournaments beginning. NAIA College World Series wrapping up potentially today. Westmont College out of California and Lewis and Clark State College in Lewiston, Idaho in the championship. My good buddy Drew Watson and his Southeastern University Fire lost yesterday in the semifinals.
Their team is called the Fire.
They are called the Fire.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So, your president took a header yesterday when he went to the Air Force. The most appalling thing in that video, the smattering of applause as he's introduced as the president and the keynote speaker. at the
Yes.
Air Force Academy's
The
graduation yesterday.
academy was decidedly
Yeah.
not pro-Biden. As Biden took the stage, it was like, yay, great, Commander-in-Chief is here. What a clown.
And the media left that alone completely.
Oh, yeah, they ignored
because. And if he were a smarter guy, I might almost give him credit for this, to deflect from the fact that his welcome at the Air Force Academy graduation was not well received. But your president took a header yesterday on the stage in front of everybody and then tried to blame a sandbag, which
That wasn't there. He
there
pointed at
was
it.
one there. But still, everybody else managed to avoid it.
He's an idiot.
And they're saying, well, it shouldn't have been there. Well, obviously, you don't just put it. I mean, nobody carries a 30-pound sandbag just to drop it somewhere where it doesn't belong.
Well-
sandbags have a strategic place.
The Secret Service immediately drew upon and eliminated the sandbag. It is funny, though, that I did see the video. You sent it to me. It shows President Trump teeing off on a golf course, and you see him hit the ball. And then they cut to Biden, and the ball comes in, doink, and he falls down.
Yeah.
It's just, but I mean, I'm at the point now where this administration is guilty of elder abuse. I don't understand where,
Oh, but old people fall, Brent.
but the man's got dementia. He's a mouth breather. He walks around.
Couldn't wait.
mean-
he couldn't get up after he fell. Either.
No,
Needed
he
a lot
started
of
to
help.
get. He wanted to, but if he would just accept being old and use the handrail, but no, he had to be Vitality Joe. Hey, let me show you. I'm gonna do a little
Gonna ride a bike.
Fred Astaire down these stairs like I'm singing in the rain, and he just.
Scott Tomko agrees with me. The falling was one thing, but the fact he couldn't get up, wowzer.
Yeah. Come on.
HR Mallory, good morning, Mallory.
He's a clown.
Good morning to you, HR.
Hello, HR. There's JP Hull. What did he do?
You said that's a good bingo. It's Friday.
You know,
Cody Bauman, good morning.
JP and I have not talked. We usually talk at least once a week just to check in. And I'll admit that I've been avoiding him a little bit because, as you'll recall, when it came time for his annual Astros bet, I was like, take the over, take the over. I'm back to take the over. You're looking good, JP. Might as well do that.
But
Let's take a break
well,
with the Astros
hold on,
minute.
because more on the Biden thing, because the apologists and excuse making is alive and well on the left and the media. Remember when Donald Trump was walking down that very slippery metal ramp holding the handrail in dress shoes, and they were bugging him because, oh, look, he's got dementia. He's walking slowly.
Because he's smart enough not to fall.
Yeah. And the media was all over that. And now the media and the leftists are making excuses because somebody points out that Joe Biden fell or that he needs to go because he's too old for the office. They've quickly forgotten the lambasting that they gave Donald Trump over merely walking down a ramp carefully.
Yes.
There was-
Avoiding the problem.
There was no falling.
I do it.
The guy golfs almost every day.
Do you know how silly I would feel if I had to come to work with a broken hip? I'm careful.
Peter McNally says you're practicing age discrimination. No, Peter, we're not.
What did you say, Pete?
Old people fall down. People
do,
fall
Pete.
down, but old people tend to
No,
fall down
old-
more than regular people.
Absolutely. Now, why can't
Old
old
people-
people be regular people? Why, little black kids
Regular-
are almost as smart as rich kids.
Regularly aged people, there. Less aged people.
There's no denying, and
The only
it's not discriminatory to say that old people fall more than younger people. There's no getting around it.
The only two people that fall, so three classes of people that fall a lot in society.
Old people, toddlers.
Babies learning to walk.
Yep.
Old people and drunks. That's the three classes of people that fall.
And if you're
more
an old
often
drunk
than-
who thinks like a toddler,
Then you're in trouble.
there you go. You're going to spend a lot of time on the
And
ground.
that might explain
That's
Joe
good bingo.
Biden.
Shift gears to the Astros update brought to you by First State Bank. I had a nice
Friendliest bank
visit.
anywhere.
Well, and it's funny you say that because I asked Patricia Nagel yesterday, are we doing an adequate job representing you? Are we getting your story out there? I know your people. I know Lolly. I'm friends with Clay Coley. I know Patricia Nagel. Are we imparting that
Name dropper.
to, yeah, sure. I know Chip. He's my guy. am I getting it out to the public? And she said, yes, but we like for people to understand that we're a 50-year-old organization.
More than that.
And over 50 years old, and community and family oriented. And she also, two things to know that, and this is one thing I like about our ability to advertise. We can tell you this right now. It's not going to be in next week's paper. It's not going to be something I heard they were doing. Beginning Monday, if you go in and open an account, commercial, personal, savings,
no
whatever,
charge,
Bluetooth speaker, their gift to you. It's nice. It's summertime. You can Bluetooth your music off your phone. It's free. It's part of the program. And she let me know that a lot of people right now are holding on to their cash, uncertainty in the markets and all of that. But if you want to buy a lot, speculating that one day you might want to build a home.
Or land.
A lot of banks, or land, or farm and ranch land. A lot of banks are requiring 20, 25% down and like a 10 to 15-year amortization. FSB is willing to go 15% down and up to 30 years of amortization. So you can basically put a mortgage on a residential lot and just make the payments.
And then when
on
you
the
go
lot.
to build, you can roll
And
that into the
there's your
equity into the
equity.
house to get your loan. Yep. And they'll do that for you as well. So,
On top of that, you
great
can see
people.
Lolly, and they're the friendliest bank anywhere. Astros win last night 5-2. I want to tell you, I know I get romantic about the Astros. I don't apologize for that. I've been a fan all my life, and they've sucked for most of it. Okay,
You call it romantic. Others might call it obsessive.
okay, I could
and
be a homer.
bordering on restraining order.
Right.
If it were a relationship.
Look, Alex Bregman asked me to leave, and I left. I was parked right there by the HEB sign, and it said, look, HEB and Pena. It says, it doesn't say you or Altuve,
No.
get out of my lawn. And I left. I did take a small clipping of turf from his yard. But what I'm seeing with this Astros team now that you need to start to understand is a chemistry that will lead to a repeat of the World Series championship. And what I mean by that is last night, there's a ball hit into the outfield. Shallow. It's a pop-up. It's one of those, could be trouble. You've seen it. Tucker's coming hard. Altuve's going back, and Altuve said, I got it, because Altuve wants to make every play, and God bless him for it. Abreu's out there. He's looking for Altuve. They're all looking for the ball. And at the very last second, Altuve just peels off like a fighter jet. Tucker steps in and catches the ball. Dawn made the right call. Hey, the guy coming in from the outfield, he sees the whole field in front of him. Let him make the play if he's able.
Yeah.
And it worked out. Well, next inning, left-handed hitter gets under one, pops it up. Abreu's standing under it. He's just got his glove up waiting on it. And out of nowhere, here comes Altuve. Little Altuve climbs up on Abreu's lap, basically, and he's going, I got it. I got it. It's not in Spanish. You can read his lips. I got it. And Abreu finally just looked at him. And Altuve, catches it against Abreu, who was just standing there with a first baseman's mitt.
Yeah.
And Alvarez slaps him with the glove and goes, Altuve slaps him with the glove and goes, my ball. And Abreu kind of looked at him like, whatever.
It is his team.
Flash forward to the end of the game. There's the last out of the game is an infield pop-up. Altuve comes in. It's right on the mound. Pena comes in. Pena, to me, the leader of the infield, your shortstop, is going, my ball. And Abreu just stood there, did not move. He's by far the biggest man in the infield, and just caught it. And then he turned and flipped it to Pena, and Pena let it hit the ground. They're staring at each other on the mound. And then they both bust out laughing. Long story to show you, there's a chemistry there.
Yeah.
They get along. They flow together, and everybody's watching them, and Abreu sticks his hand out, and Pena puts his hands on his hips. Like, I'm not shaking your hand. So Abreu kind of slaps him, and they hug, and they laugh, and he gives him a noogie, and they walk off. And I'm like, Abreu's a 36-year-old
What
man.
have we always said about the Astros?
When they're having fun, you can't beat them.
No, and they win 5-2 last night. Ronel Blanco gets his first Major League win,
First
I believe.
start, first win.
Yeah.
Came up, pitched over 5 2/3, I think. Finally got over there.
Typically works out of the bullpen. 29-year-old.
Yeah,
Made
great.
a few games last year, now getting a chance because of all the injuries.
Routinely
the,
throwing
rotation.
95. Your man Kyle Tucker goes 3 for 4 with some hustle runs. He hit a ball. He let a ball travel and jammed it down the left field line for a single, and that's all it was. It went off the third baseman's glove. But it was a single. Wasn't
Tucker goes 3 for 4 with a couple of runs,
and he turned it into a double.
Bregman 1 for 3 had a home run if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, look at Abreu.
Did he have a home run?
Jose Abreu had a double off the wall, and Blummer goes, Abreu's going to have to learn to turn on that ball just a little bit because he's hitting balls off the wall and left that would just be, huge home runs in the Crawford boxes.
No home run for Bregman, but he had a couple of RBIs. Him and Abreu drove in 4 of the 5 runs.
What's Bregman's average now?
All the way up to 247.
Ouch. It was 219 about 2 weeks ago. He's got an 8-game hitting streak. The Astros are on fire.
They're playing well.
Rangers lost. Yeah, the Astros are
10 games above 500 now. Remember when we were languishing?
And that's their high water mark is 10 games above. That's as high as they've been all season.
Yeah. Remember we were worried that they weren't going to get there? They were playing 500 ball. Maybe the times were over.
No.
2.5 back
we
of the
weren't worried
Rangers.
about that. I'll be the last one off the Homer bus.
I was worried that Abreu just wasn't going to work out. He's starting to come around. I'm not sure he's working out.
He's working out.
No, he's not.
Can we get a quick update on where is Yuli Gurriel? Let's see his batting average.
He is playing with the Marlins, I believe.
And I miss Yuli Gurriel. I miss him in the clubhouse. I think the upside of Abreu was unavoidable.
I'm not sure there is an upside when you're that old.
I don't know where you get that. He's 36 years old. He's not 50. He plays first. He has to run 8 feet. He runs from the dugout to the bag.
He's still got to swing a bat. 273, 3 homers, 12 RBIs playing for the Marlins.
He's not playing bad. And I like Yuli. But you can bet Yuli's giving him all he's got. He's like Scotty on Star Trek.
35 games, so he's not even playing every day. I don't know if there was an injury in there or not. I'm not sure.
He's old. Great move to pick up Abreu. Great player. White Sox player, disciplined player, professional ball player. Nobody's ever questioned his work ethic. He's the first one on the field. I'm not exaggerating. He's the first one on the field every day. Dusty Baker seems to think that he's a fantastic leader. As they walk off the field last night,
Marlins won't make the playoffs this year, by the way.
Dusty has a huge affinity for Yordan Alvarez. Just loves the kid. And as they're walking off, Dusty, they all have their deals. As the team gives each other 5, Tucker gives everybody a low 5. As he goes by, he gives them a low 5. Some of them do elbows. Baseball's a quirky game, and it's fun to watch. Dusty likes to give them knucks up here. Well, Alvarez gives him knucks and then slapped him in the face, slapped the manager in the face. He's about, I don't know, what is Dusty now, 94? He slapped him in the face, and Dusty immediately turned and went down and grabbed him around the neck, and they love each other. By the way, Dusty
Baker never falls going out to the dugout.
No. Dusty Baker passes up another manager last night on the all-time wins list.
And that's the Astros update brought to you by the First State Bank.
That's just the friendliest bank anywhere. Be Small says splash a little cold water on Carter.
Yeah, asked if you were yelling. Yes, he was yelling.
No, Be Small is an Astros. He's a baseball aficionado. And he knows that I'm right, that the Rangers are going to fold and the Astros are going back to the World Series.
Yeah. 2.5, it's going to happen. 2.5, it's going to happen.
Yep. What do you got? You're moving stuff around?
Well, no, I'll tell you what will happen, what's going to happen. At some point, your car will break down and you'll be stranded on the side of the road and you'll need
Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Call Allen with all your go-to tow-to needs.
VCS Companies, only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer, the only one in Victoria that's locally owned and authorized by AT&T, is owned by the Hartmans and part of the
Could
VCS
be because we're
companies.
a small town. You know, can't say that in Houston probably.
Or it could be because
they're the best.
They're the best.
No doubt about it. Chesnick Furniture, speaking of the best, no reason to go anywhere else when you can go to Chesnick. Chestnut and Love make your house a home. You just always do better than Chestnut. Since 1920, I had to go do some research. We always add a year. But really, earlier than that. They have dominated the landscape of downtown Victoria, providing furniture to you, your parents, their parents, and their parents. They got to be doing something right.
Absolutely.
Reach out to Chestnut for all your accoutrements.
Nice.
Reach out to them for all your washers and dryers and televisions, and they've got
Sofas, love
beautiful
seats,
furniture,
recliners, bedroom sets, dining room, kitchen. They've got it all.
I went to Veracruz this week. Did you? If you haven't had the best Mexican food in town,
I mean, no, last
it
week.
was rhetorical. I was talking to them.
Okay.
Get into Veracruz.
Or making plans for next week.
Yes, next week would be great. We can do that.
Last day of the week today to get into Veracruz and enjoy it because they won't be open Saturday or Sunday.
That just flowed off your tongue.
It did. They're smart. Palace Bingo, we still haven't. We've got to look at the calendar, figure out when our next Wade and Carter night
When
is.
would
'Cause
y'all like it
It
to
won't be
be?
the third Thursday.
When would y'all like it to be? It can't be the third Thursday.
Or could it be? It could be. We might be here.
It could be without me.
No. Where are you? That
I'll
would
be in Cabo San Lucas.
No, you're
on
there
a
the
beach.
week before that, I think.
On a beach.
I think you're there the week before that.
Frozen fruity drinks.
Well, that calendar's not coming up, so let's look at this calendar.
I'm going to introduce
There we are.
Cabo to.
Yeah,
That's good bingo. That's good bingo.
We might have to move it to the, I don't know when we can.
29th?
9th? That right before? Yeah, maybe.
June 29th?
Maybe. We'll figure it out.
I'm down with that.
All right.
Okay.
Tentatively set.
There you go. And don't forget, this weekend, tomorrow, I will be there. Gray Barn Design, Gray Barn Mercantile opening up in Victoria. Look for the lack of awning.
Town and Country Center.
It could be a trend. Everybody has an awning. Be different. Go to
different.
Gray Barn.
Awning's coming.
Yeah. Right there at the corner of Airline and Laurent.
Right between Local Pet and Design Nails. You'll see it. Lots of great stuff. And the soaps that we rave about are there.
894-4020. Call us if you feel like you've got something to say.
Scott Tomko says Altuve gives him low fives too, but not by choice.
Right. Yeah, it's his hands over his head.
He'll throw out his shoulder, and we don't want that.
Did you know?
There's Karen Webb. Good morning. Roy Gutierrez. Carrie Bump.
I got a
Junior
stat for you.
Samples checking in. Good morning, everybody. Kendra Douglas. Seeing if I missed somebody. Oh, Matt Boucher. We do have to mention this. One of the very first listeners
Yes.
that we ever became aware of, and a good guy who knew all the good spots to eat because we know him and when we see him there. But Charlie Vega
Our friend
C-Veg.
C-Veg is what we called him.
passed away, and I think
He had some health issues, but
yeah. So
Charlie, you'll be missed, my friend. He was
Always.
always good for us. Like Brian Small, just a witty comment. Roy Gutierrez, that group of folks, Torrin Bales, that have been here since the beginning, that just say things that make us laugh, that pull us through the show. Charlie was always the first to say, I'm in for 100. If we were doing a fundraiser, if we were trying to raise awareness for something, C-Veg was our guy.
yeah.
And,
always said hi when we saw him out in public. He's
super fine gentleman, great
and
family
didn't always
guy.
agree with everything we said either.
No.
But gonna miss the guy. He's just a good guy. Him and his wife Mary. My condolences to you and your
Amen.
boys.
Great guy, great family, and you'll be missed, our friend. One thing I want to ask you,
Please.
because you and I do agree always, by the way, in baseball, on the Hall of Fame selections, we always go, it's a rough year. You're going to put so-and-so in.
Yeah.
We've had that conversation for
Harold
7
Baines.
years. Yeah, and did you know that since Jose Altuve entered Major League Baseball in 2011, we're talking about a career here, 12 seasons. Did you know that nobody in Major League Baseball over that period has a higher batting average than Jose Altuve?
I did not know.
Did you know his batting average over that entire span is 307? And do you know who's second? Former Triple Crown winner no doubt drop dead Hall of Famer Miguel Cabrera.
Really?
Is it 302?
Okay, I was going to guess 303.
I mean, I know that baseball can bore many of you because it's a statistician's playground.
And remember in the 70s when Rod Carew just hit like 330 plus every season?
Well, there was a handful. There was Wade Boggs, Rod Carew, George Brett. That
Freddie Lynn was pretty good for a 320, 330 season.
Those
Where
days
are
are
those
over.
guys?
Those days are over.
And they had some pop in their bat. Carew maybe not quite as much, but boy, he could hit doubles, triples. He was fast.
Yeah,
but
just got down all low, Rod Carew.
But Freddie Lynn had some pop. He was good
Yeah.
for 20, 25 homers a year and hit 330.
So what Freddie Lynn did that was a huge deal, 1975, you had Fred Lynn, Jim Rice, the Boston Red Sox. Freddie Lynn was Rookie of the Year and MVP.
Yeah.
Put that in perspective with our own Jeremy Pena, who was Rookie of the Year, wasn't he? I know.
No, I think he was in the voting. He didn't win Rookie of the Year.
But he was MVP of the Championship Series and MVP of the World Series as a rookie.
Stephanie
Pretty
Condi,
good.
good morning. Junior Samples is asleep. So,
Altuve's 5'6", Pete. I think he's 5'6", if he's in cleats.
yeah.
He ain't very big.
No.
Boy, the reliever last night, folks, for the Angels, I don't remember his name. He played at the University of Tennessee. He just got drafted. Every pitch he threw was over 100. 102, 101. They said he's been clocked at 104. And he kind of has a three-quarter delivery. You got to be committed. Enough baseball.
Yeah. So the Senate apparently passed the ending the threat of the default. You know, here again,
Oh,
the
we're
more,
going to talk goofball now.
the more I think about this, the more I'm convinced that Republicans should have stood their ground, because I'm not convinced that money couldn't have been halted from here and reappropriated, and they could have done some things. And let's not forget, we're bringing in more tax revenue than ever before. I still think there's some Trump-era tariffs probably still in place that are bringing in money to the government. I'm not convinced we would have defaulted on anything. Janet Yellen kept moving the date of that fiscal cliff. But whatever. They should have let it go because there is no way they couldn't have pinned it. This would have been the one thing Democrats couldn't have pinned on Donald Trump, because it's been their reckless spending for the last 3 years, 2.5 years, that have gotten us to this point.
But it's like, Ash, if you try to bring it down to a human scale, it's like you going to your banker and saying, I need some help. I've just got more credit card debt than I can handle. I need a loan. I need you to work with me. And the first thing the banker is going to say is, well, do you have any assets that you could liquidate to help alleviate this problem? Well, yeah, but my wife really likes her diamonds. In fact, I've got another one coming, and I need to make a payment on that. Well, yeah, but do you can you start, maybe could you do, beans and franks 2 nights a week and then maybe a salad just to get by? Well, yeah, but we have reservations at Cordon Bleu, and we can't do that. I can't. The Democrats, the Congress, forget the Democrats, Congress and the executive branch have done nothing to right their own ship.
No.
They just come to you and say, well, we've got to send $350 billion to Africa to teach women how to use computers, because otherwise we're misogynistic and racist, and we're exclusionary, and we're not focusing on the needs of the world. All the check-a-box Democrat BS is why they have to send $350 billion to Africa, $280 billion of which will end up in some fat cat's wallet.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to keep sending missiles to Ukraine because somebody else actually has the guts to fight Russia besides us, and we don't want to, it's thinly veiled, but it's not us fighting Russia. all these things that the government says we have to keep doing, they're doing them on your grandkid's wallet. You think student debt is a big deal? Wait until government debt comes back to roost on your kid and your grandkids are paying 80% taxes. Sure, they make $2 million a year. They get to keep $80,000 a year because the rest goes to the government.
And here's a problem I have with yesterday's debate in the Senate. Chuck Schumer told John Cornyn, who I'm not a fan of John Cornyn
at all,
but as he was trying to discuss this, Schumer said, hey, less talking, more voting, John. They don't want to debate this thing.
I'm surprised John Cornyn didn't tell Chuck Schumer to pound sand. Chuck Schumer's such a little hangnail punk. Him and Adam Schiff.
So it passed 63-36 yesterday, and the Senate will now go to President Biden's desk for...
And Schumer will be under Biden's desk. Unbelievable. Of course, you have to move Kamala over.
Well, and you'll have to move Joe. You'll have to wake Joe up because I picture him like George Costanza sleeping under the desk.
Oh, unbelievable.
But, yeah, anyway, I just...
it's a tragic place,
it
folks.
really is.
We live in a quagmire of just stupidity.
Junior Sample says, we are not the world's baby daddy. No, we are, Junior.
We are. We are. There's no other way to describe it.
Except we don't create the babies. We just welcome them all here afterwards. And continue to enrich all those fat cats who've wasted our money because there's no accountability to any of the foreign aid that we give.
So this is when I
crazy.
want. This is the time of the week for about the next 45 seconds where I would indulge somebody like Mike Gomez calling and just saying, "Hey, give me a minute, uninterrupted, to share the other side of the pancake." And I would sit and listen to a leftist, Marxist.
361-894-4020 if you're so inclined.
894-4020. Call. I swear to you, we will not interrupt you. You tell us your side of this.
But we will
of this
time you and
vision.
give you a minute.
Yeah.
Ricky King says Congress will never balance the budget. I wish Congress would make it that if they don't get paid unless they have a balanced budget.
Shouldn't be that hard. That's one
Shouldn't be
place you
that
can take
hard.
a lot of money out is by taking it out. Just don't pay Congress until they. And let's be honest, they don't need it. Come on, man. They've all got money in the bank. All of them.
Let's just for easy math's sake. What do we got? 456, 465? What's the number?
And they're 500,
Congress.
541. I don't know.
Let's round up to 500.
500.
$100 million saved by not paying Congress for
Still
a
pay 'em.
year. But unfortunately, that's such a small drop in the
It is.
bucket.
It is.
Rescinding $28 billion of unspent COVID money.
Billions.
And what are they doing with it? Are they taking?
Number.
Yeah. Are they taking that $28 million that they didn't spend, and are they actually putting it on the debt?
No. Because it was never anywhere anyway. It was always on paper. Like our debt ceiling, there's no cap on it. There's just a date on it. We won't talk about the debt ceiling again till after the next presidential election.
And they're already saying there's people coming out there speculating that in the next 2.5 years, till 2025, when we have a debt ceiling again, could add $4 to $5 trillion to the debt, and some of that's already been money obligated by this administration over the next couple of years. This is crazy, folks.
And you know who won't say a word about it? Donald Trump. He's in the same boat. They all spend money they ain't got. Trump does it on hookers. I get that,
Yeah.
but
Donald Trump had to, well, you spend money too. Well, when you shut down the economy and tell everybody to stay home and you give up a bunch,
got to follow the science, Ash.
when the government shuts you down, you kind of had to do something. I didn't agree with it.
Even though 3 years later, the head of the Chinese CDC says, "Hey, don't rule out a Wuhan leak."
Yeah.
We both went, it was news. It was on the web. I'm like, that's not news. We told you that 3 years ago. Come on. It's not news.
No, it's ridiculous. 361-894-4020. I don't hear the phone ringing.
Yeah, I mean, give us the rebuttal.
Yeah, please do. Texas Oil
894-4020.
now. Texas Oil now becoming part of the Brent Oil benchmark on.
They named oil after me. It's a
did.
light,
Brent.
honey-like crude.
No,
but
actually, it's a dark bitter crude, Brent crude.
it's a sweet, gentle.
Loving crude? No, it's
Loving
not
crude.
at all. It's the bitter stuff that they pull out of the earth and siphon it through the tar sands.
Yeah,
That's the Brent.
that's more like me.
That's more like you.
Shouldn't they give me some kind of reparation for that? Some kind of kickback?
Ford recalling 176,000 Broncos because
That's
the
all?
seatbelts aren't ergonomic enough. So basically, you're probably too fat or too skinny, and they don't fit you.
You're having a difficult time grabbing the seatbelt from over the shoulder, causing some to forego seatbelts altogether?
Why
Well,
is
lose
that?
some weight.
Yeah, become a little more flexible. Turn your whole body. I mean, geez, you can't reach a seatbelt, so they got to recall the entire vehicle? Ridiculous. But here's the worst one. Good union jobs, according to our president.
Joe Biden.
1,400 2023 Broncos and Ford Rangers had to get sent back to the factory because those good-paying union workers were too damn lazy,
Yep.
or the robots were misprogrammed or not double-checked
By a union guy.
by a union guy. 1,400 of them had lug nuts that weren't tight enough, and as they were rolling cars off, wheels fell off.
And doesn't that give you a little bit of pause that when a truck is delivered to your local dealer, nobody thinks to check the lug nuts?
No. You think that's the first thing you should check?
Yeah, I would just go, let's just give that thing the once over.
Ricky
Give it the what for. Did you see there was a newer Bronco on the Atzenhofer lot today? I drove by. They have got a line of trucks over there that looks, it's like no matter what kind of truck you want,
They've got
Atzenhofer's got it sitting there. I think we're starting to see some inventory trickle back in. You're never going to see stacking them deep, selling them cheap again, because the American buyer has now been conditioned for what is almost basically Kaizen manufacturing. They're making everything to order. Americans have gotten more picky in what they want. It used to be, I can remember my dad saying, I'd like leather, but if you've got it in cloth, you give me $2,500 off and I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And my dad would do it.
And they used to get enough, this is the package people want. They
Right.
used to basically, pick your cars for you. Now it's going back to how it was in the 70s. I remember my dad bought a truck and you ordered it and
Yeah.
it came from the factory.
Yeah. And that's kind of what's happening now. But
where
Atzenhofer has some
they're
trucks.
stacking them deep and selling them cheap is the beautiful pre-owned models that Atzenhofer.
Absolutely. And they only keep the best of the best.
Picks
Since 1926, they've got a 1926 Chevy 500 back on the back lot there. Ed Atzenhofer sold that to a lady here.
And they went and got it back.
They got it.
Repoed
man.
it.
Sure. Call the law offices of Steve Kidder. Somebody repos your car and you think you made that payment. If it was a good bingo, give Steve Kidder a call. Let Steve help you navigate the tumultuous waters of the courthouse.
Go
you
win a
don't
Pals
want to be there
bingo
by
and
yourself.
you could make your car payment. AJ's detailing?
What?
I don't know what
I think you're having a mini
detailing.
stroke.
I might have had one there.
He did, folks. Just say, AJ's
AJ's detailing. At least I didn't fall down.
crack, stick, peel, or fade.
It won't.
AJ's detailing, he can buff it out and ceramically coat it, paste wax.
He had a Mother's Day giveaway, and I'm wondering if he'll have a Father's Day giveaway as well.
It's a thing of the past. Swirls on your paint, a thing of the past.
Ceramic coat that'll protect that paint. No more do you have to put a leather bra on the front where
Yeah, he
the
sprays
rest-
it on, he rinses it around with water, you wipe it down with a micro towel.
Remember if
and
you had a
it
car bra? Hey, bra? And you took, that's how you knew it was a female car. There's the
Right.
dad joke for you.
There
Dad
you
joke
go.
of the day. But
My
you
car
would
always
take
went
that
topless.
bra off, and underneath it was always shinier paint than the rest of the car. Well, AJ's
doubt.
will make sure your paint never dulls anywhere because those ceramic coats and the protective film that he can put on.
Absolutely.
Awesome
Folks,
job.
visit the Emmy Science Foundation on Facebook.
Yes.
Right now is a great day for you to buy. Let's pick a number. Pick a number.
28.
Number
The
28
number I wore playing hockey.
is an Anderson AM15, AR15, and 223 brought to you by Hunter Supply. Emmy Science Foundation, for years now, 501c3, qualified, local. I even hesitate to call it a charity. It's a foundation that does just yeoman's work helping folks that need it,
Yeah.
whether it be providing a simple thing, a walker, a wheelchair, a ramp to somebody in need, just making their life more accessible. Started out as a foundation based on solving the issues of folks with spinal injuries. It still emanates from there, but the work they do is fantastic work. It's bipartisan work. It crosses all political barriers, religious barriers. There's nobody who can
No, if you
say
need the
anything
help
bad about helping
and
a
you
young
do
child
and
with
you
a
do what they need you
chair.
to do, you'll get something.
And they're wonderful. But for you, for somebody who wants to donate,
Just $20.
$20 gets you a ticket. There's 66 items, including a cruise, all kinds of things. That's not why you donate, but you get 66 opportunities to be a winner.
What's the number to call?
I do not know.
361
I forgot.
212-2222. Does that sound right?
I don't know. You just got sent. Sounds like the White House to me. But look it up. Look it up on Facebook.
Yeah, go check it out.
Emmy Signs found SAENZ.
EMMY.
EMMY.
Yep.
Wonderful post. Jamie Alvarez will tell us. I've got Jamie's numbers. Let me just look it up. She's going to say, "Oh, you knucklehead, you were so close. So
I think I'm there, though.
Don't tell.
Hey,
don't
Peter
tell
McNally says,
Emmett.
"Don't criticize Ford Motor Company. They didn't need the government to bail in." I'm not criticizing them, but how does it?
212-8888.
Oh, I was close.
There you go.
Thank you, Rosemary. I'm not criticizing Ford Motor Company, but how do you let a car go off the lot with 1,400 of them, not just one? I could understand one. You went to grab a sip of your coffee. Oops.
No, we
Kind of
both
like that apple picker that takes the bad ones out. Every once in a while, one gets through, right?
we both drive
1,400
Fords.
cars, and I love Ford.
But inept is inept, and it doesn't matter if the government bailed you out once before or not.
But remember, these are good-paying union jobs. You could pay somebody minimum wage to overlook 1,400 lug nuts.
Oh, that I promise you, the guy over those lug nuts makes about $75-$80 an hour, guaranteed. 212-8888.
It's the number
Emmy
to call for
Signs
the Emmy Signs.
Foundation.
Tom Price, good morning.
And you can Venmo them the $20. And if you don't have PayPal or Venmo or whatever, could you please join us in the 21st century? I don't like putting my information on the internet. Your information's on the internet anyway. Don't be stupid.
Yep.
Get a Venmo, tie it to your bank account. You still have to authorize it. It's got face recognition.
Hockey half minute.
Go.
We will have a first-time Stanley Cup winner when this series is
The
over. Game
Golden
one
Knights
tomorrow
have never
night.
won it. The Carolina Panthers,
Florida
Florida Panthers
Panthers
have never won it.
Yep. So,
Does that make
seed-
it a good? Are those the two best teams? What happened to the Bruins? Where are the Flames?
Flames didn't make it. Bruins were the best
Flames.
team in the regular season. Lost in the opening round to Florida.
Is this just
The Knights are the 1 seed in the West. The Panthers were the 8th seed
wow,
in the East.
Just got hot at the right time.
More or less, yep.
Who do
In
you
fact,
like
and
this
needed
one?
a whole bunch of help to get into the playoffs. They had to win and have two teams lose on the final day, and that's what happened.
You said you wanted a couple of days. Of course, that was yesterday. But we live in a microwave.
Well, you know what I'm doing? I think I'm going Vegas, and I really don't like either one of these teams, to be honest.
What do you not like about either one? Pick one.
Vegas just, I don't know, something about the franchise just kind
You
of
think
irks
they're a
me.
little dirty?
No,
You
I
think
don't
is
they're a
Pete
little
Rose
dirty.
involved? Does
No.
Phil Mickelson have an ownership interest?
And Florida just I don't know. Neither one has players that I really can gravitate to and like. That's all.
I could
And
tell you why I
Vegas
don't watch
is-
the
and
NBA,
Vegas-
but that would be redundant.
And Vegas is uniforms. But I think Florida's run will come to an end. This layoff, it's been almost a week. I don't know why the NHL takes as much time off between series as they did, but I think it will hurt Florida's momentum and they will be done.
There you have it. That was the hockey half minute. My
probably took about a
interjections
minute
made
and a half.
it a minute. Yeah, I apologize.
That's probably more than that, but that's all right. So get this. Raul Meza turned himself in after being arrested and admitted to killing his roommate last month. This is a guy, he's a Texas man, served 5 years in prison back in the 70s after being found guilty of murdering an 8-year-old girl in Austin. Was sentenced to 30 years in prison, released after 11. Now suspected the 2019 death of a 66-year-old Austin woman. And now they're looking into 10 more murders dating back to 1996 that may have linked this guy. We may have had a serial killer walking amongst our midst. And let's see, let's do the math. 76, 30 years, should have been in jail for till 2006 at the very least. They let him go after 11 years. After murdering an 8-year-old girl. And I'm not getting into the politics of things, but this just shows you how stupid and lenient our justice system has been in the treatment of serious criminals. Paroled this guy. I can't see, I'm sorry, I don't see any redeeming value of anybody who murdered an 8-year-old girl.
No.
What did she do? Threaten your life?
Should be very swiftly eliminated from the planet.
Absolutely. Well, the death penalty, it doesn't deter anybody. No, but it stops that guy from doing it again.
It would have stopped that guy from killing 11 more people.
And now he turns himself in. Why? He's 66 years old, and he probably doesn't want to
He
cook
doesn't
and
have
clean
health
for himself
insurance,
anymore.
and he wants to go live on our tit again. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is.
They've got health care, 3 hots and a cot. That's exactly what it is.
Probably made enough buddies in prison that he's not going to get beat up. I mean, if he was already in for killing an 8-year-old and survived it, they paroled him after 11 years.
And nobody wants to have sex with a 66-year-old man. I'm 60 and I have to beg Dawn now. I kept asking her, why do we have foil all of our bedroom windows? She goes, have you seen yourself without clothes, man? I said, I thought you thought you were making love to Elvis. She said, yeah, dead fat Elvis.
There you go.
There you have it.
Yep.
We're caught in a trap.
95th Script Spelling Bee in Virginia. Washington, D.C.
Or whatever.
Florida 8th grader Dev Shaw spelled Samophile correctly to win it.
That's a PS word.
That is a PS word.
PSAMMOPHILE.
Nicely done. You could
no idea. Can you use it in a sentence?
No, I couldn't. I don't know what it means.
Can you give me the definition?
No, I don't know what it means.
Can you give me a root word?
No.
Can you say the word again slowly? I'm hooked on phonics, but I knew it didn't begin with an S.
There, I'm going to look what it is.
Samophile is that thrives in sandy soils.
It's an organism that thrives in sandy soils. There you go.
Brent Crude.
15 rounds, the 14-year-old wins.
A Samophile is somebody that's scared of people named Sammy.
So he's 14. She was an 8th grader, the runner-up. I'm thinking if you're an 8th grader and you're runner-up with the spelling bee, you might be smarter than the 14-year-old.
Right?
When you balance out the age and everything, right?
Oh, say can you see? Look who came.
Should we take our final break and then we'll bring the brother man in?
I think
the brother man is here, so let's take our final break. Armor Air. 579-0966. Give the folks at Armor Air a call. They will come and inspect your system. They won't just do the work and then hand you a surprise bill. They'll say, hey, this is what it needs. This is what it's going to cost you. And as they go along, if they find something else, they'll say, hey, found something else. You need a new condenser. It's going to cost you about $80.
But wait.
Do you want to do it now? You don't have to, but it's getting there. I mean, they don't surprise you, which I like. And they talk to you.
They evaluate your system. They tell you the truth. They literally have the philosophy, we're going to treat you like family. The idea being that if we do a good job at a fair price and we treat you right, you're going to tell people. It's the idea of I'd rather have 20% from 100 people than 100% from 2. So here I am. What I'm doing now is I'm doing a diversion as we bring in the brother man.
Well, we still got to finish.
Yeah, we still got some more sponsors. You got to take care of them.
And this is the best part of the show because Brother Gary is talking, but his microphone's completely off. White Trash Services, 550-1826. White Trash Services is there. Give him some mic.
Well, I had to get the camera.
He can
Well, I
chime
can't give him
in.
the camera. Yeah, we could, but then I got to do
White Trash
this.
I don't need
Services
nothing.
helps you from the county with roll-off dumpster, weekly trash service. We got to put a little, like a smile.
I
The
like
brother man gets some
Brother man
applause
gets some
there.
loves and applause. There we go. Brother
Thank you.
man's here.
Coach
Five-
Bang,
You know,
550-1826.
Brother man knows the folks at White Trash Services.
USA
Yes, I
Concrete Coating, Charlie Garcia and Lane, their family, brothers, cousins. It's a lot like Veracruz.
There's the Amy Science Foundation number right there, and I just
361
completely butchered it.
212-8888. They'll take Venmo.
USA
Send them
Concrete
$20.
Coating, 578-HOME, 361-578-HOME. Give them a call.
Transform that drab slab.
Yep.
You're starting to talk like the bingo caller.
Quick.
Call that damn concrete coating.
Got a
Well,
lot to say.
I'm trying to get to the Brother man.
He's got a lot to say.
He's a day late and a dollar short.
He is, well. USA Concrete Coating will put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade. Or as Asher say, Wind Services for all your generator needs. It had been bothering me. Brother man, this is important.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to put the camera on you. It had
Thank
been
you.
bothering me a little bit that we've been chatting up Wind Services and the 24 kW generator that you can buy
Right.
for $59.25, and then you negotiate your installation with them. And I had noticed that for $59.99 you could buy a Generac generator at Sam's, and I was like, there's not a huge advantage there. I mean, it's like, okay, great, because I can still get Went to put it in. Well, guess what? Wentz is a 24 kilowatt whole house generator. And the one that's $59.99 at Sam's is a 22 kilowatt, and it's not even designed to cover your entire house.
How
There
about
you
that?
go.
So I'm telling you, the value is there. Call Wentz Services
So it's more
for
the same,
less.
technically.
And take a look,
you're
ladies and
within
gentlemen.
$75, but Wentz can certainly come out and take
Take
care
a
of
look at those believable faces right there.
And,
Look at
and,
those faces.
and they'll do it all themselves.
Those good faces, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
not sure Sam's has anybody that
No.
can install a generator.
They might have somebody to put it in the back of your truck.
Yeah, they might.
They might. Better check those lug nuts. Good morning, Brother Gary
Hey,
Moses.
brother, good to see y'all, man. I love y'all. Good stuff. Heard y'all on the way. Got over here. Got a couple of events I want to mention. I got a little baseball.
He heard us on the way, said, I got to hurry. I
gotta
got to
hurry.
bail them boys
Yeah.
out.
Well,
Gotta help.
you had great guest yesterday, Michael Cloud.
Wasn't he fantastic?
He's a good guy. He was with me at the Memorial Day ceremony over there not too long ago, and it just was super. Just great.
Is G about to talk about Alzheimer's again? Here's that. Oh, no, wait. That was 1988. He was on a field trip.
He was just there when the troops came in. That's what it was right,
Right.
there.
Yes,
I remember.
sir.
I did so many services
Warriors
there.
weekend, yes,
Oh,
and you
man,
did the
I've done
Memorial
two
Day
more.
deal.
I did two of them on that day. But
How
let
many
me-
Kinseys you got this weekend?
Oh my! I got birthday parties, graduations, no Kinseys, but birthday parties, 4 of them.
Can you see
4.
Brother G with he's got his poncho on and a sombrero, and he's out there trying to talk a little Spanish,
I got a list a mile long.
right?
I got a couple of them. American Legion Steak Night. They're back at the
Tonight?
Steak Night
Yeah.
tonight. I know James called it in 6 to 8 o'clock. Ribeyes. It's ribeyes tonight, boys. So
They make a great
They
steak.
make
They
a
do.
good steak over there.
It's a wonderful environment. It's,
How much are the steaks over there tonight?
yeah, it's $20.
Oh,
And
they're
all the
great.
sides.
And all
And I
sides.
think maybe it's too late, but I think James did say that if you bought it online or reserved it, you get $5 off.
You get $5 off. So there you go. And it's a good night tonight. And then tomorrow, Bike Strikes and Power Wheels and Velocity, Power Sports, all proceeds from that car show, bike show, go to the Vine School. So
Cool.
that's a
That's
good thing. So
awesome.
want to mention a couple of good events. And we have been having fun with graduations, cook-offs, memorial services. Just a great weekend. Here we go, boys. You got some baseball today.
You
Tell
know what?
us.
You know why the brother man can say he's having fun with graduation? Because he doesn't have a kid graduate.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
No, he's done with that.
That's one of the most stressful
been there,
days
and
of
you've been
lives
there.
as a parent is graduation day.
Y'all don't want to do it again?
No.
No, thank you.
No, thank
Well,
you.
I hope so, because I got 2 at home.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got
Yeah,
2
you'll
more
get
to
to
go.
do it
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Junior
Yeah.
Sample's going to be at steak day today.
I either
I'll
got to
see
do
you,
it
Junior.
or I either got to get them to graduate and move on, or I'll have the best yard in the neighborhood forever.
Yes, because they'll work it.
Absolutely.
If they want to stay at the house.
Absolutely.
Texas and Louisiana today, boys. College baseball. Regionals.
Regionals, yep.
1 o'clock. Texas is the 2 seed. They're in the Miami region. Miami's number 1 on that one.
Raging
So,
Cajuns?
Raging Ca- 1 o'clock, the game time. So just for y'all knowledge, 1 o'clock, Texas, Louisiana. And then, let's see, Texas A&M playing Fullerton. They made it.
Yeah, they're in a tough region.
Cal
Cal
State
State,
Fullerton's
Fullerton.
Stanford
pretty solid.
Regional.
There's also Stanford is in that region.
Stanford's number
Stanford's
one
pretty
seed
good.
there. So A&M and Texas both.
The Aggies are
they're
playing
out
great
there.
baseball, though. I'm telling you, they peaked at the right time, too. They could be playing pretty good going down the stretch here.
No, they're good. They did play good in the SEC tournament.
Yep.
2 picks, y'all. Oklahoma going to repeat as girls softball. They're in the College World Series. They won their first game.
You have to
2
figure
to
they
nothing.
will. I think they will.
Repeat.
I think Oklahoma's just so good.
Oklahoma
I think,
State's in there. They're pretty tough too, but Oklahoma, man,
I mean, Stanford couldn't beat them. Held them to 2-0.
2-0.
But still.
2-0 right there.
Yeah.
And the other, I know you're not much on basketball, but it is the finals. Denver for the first time in the finals. They've never won a championship.
Right.
Against Miami, the number 8 seed, but Miami's been hot. Denver took them last night, but I said beforehand, I'm going Denver.
Yeah,
Picks-
I think
picks,
Denver
boys.
wins it. Don't you think Denver wins it? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
care.
I think
but-
so. I don't care.
Don't really
Alex,
care, but-
Alex English still doing great
Yeah,
things
and,
from the outside
and,
there.
and
Dan Issel was there.
and Dave the Skywalker Thompson.
Oh yeah,
Was
you
it
remember
Dave
those guys?
Thompson?
Man, they had some good
David
players.
Thompson.
They had David Thompson. They had some
Yeah.
good players back in the
They
day.
were an old ABA team.
Yeah, 9 years in the ABA.
They had sharp uniforms when they had that skyline of Denver on them
Yeah.
and stuff. And I know
Remember
they
the
went
red,
away
white, and
from
blue
that.
ball?
Yeah.
ABA?
Oh, yeah.
Red, white, and blue
Dr.
ball.
J, baby.
We shot it a few times
Oh,
around.
yeah.
We had a couple of those
Yep.
balls running around.
Texas Tech playing UConn.
And they are in it. Texas Tech is in it. Excuse us. Texas Tech.
Dallas Baptist is in it.
Dallas Baptist is in it right
Right.
there.
That's
Playing in the
what's cool
They're
about
playing in the
baseball.
Stillwater Regional. They've got. They're actually favored against Washington, University
Come
of
on.
Washington.
Wow.
I like to see a
Man,
few of our
Dallas
teams
Baptist
make it.
45-14.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, they're basically
That's not bad.
D3, aren't they?
No, they're a D1 school.
I mean, they got to be D1 to play.
They
but-
used to be D3,
They're in it.
but not anymore.
Wow.
So there's some good baseball. A&M.
Boy, there's a lot of teams in those playoffs. Look at that.
Well, you got 4 in each 16 regions.
Ryder versus Coastal Carolina. Nichols versus
Sam Houston
Alabama.
playing Oregon State. That'll be a tough one. Oregon
State's always up there, right?
That's in the Baton Rouge
Vanderbilt
Regional.
against Eastern Illinois.
Yep. TCU taking on Arizona in
They
the
like their
Fayetteville
baseball.
Regional.
There you go.
And the Stros, they won yesterday. Y'all said that already.
Yes, sir. That's the first
It's all
state
good
bank.
stuff. I know
Astros
it.
update.
No, that's right. That's the first thing you do.
You know Patricia Nagel.
Yes.
You know Clay Coley.
Yes.
Great folks.
Good friends with them, man.
Absolutely.
Good people.
Great folks.
So all good stuff, boys. Have a great week.
Who you got in the Stanley Cup Finals? Florida and Vegas. Who do you think?
You and I are going Vegas, aren't we?
Well, yes,
I mean,
because
Florida
Ash
is
told me
tough,
to.
but Vegas. I,
I
just
think-
like
I
the
think
sound
Vegas
of
wins
Vegas.
Ash told me to.
Who are you going, Ash?
I'm going Vegas. Hot goaltending will usually
Do it.
can steal a series or make it very tough. The last goalie to win the Conn Smythe as Stanley Cup MVP, or last player to win the Conn Smythe as Stanley Cup MVP and not be on the Stanley Cup winning team, Ron Hextall in the 70s at Philadelphia, almost single-handedly won the Flyers.
So
the
you're
Cup.
saying they got some good. They got some
But,
good,
and
they're hot.
Florida's got the best goalie in the playoffs, and Sergei Bobrovsky. But the problem is, you've got a week layoff.
Who's got
Hot
home-
goalies, you got to tend to
Who's the
keep
home
playing.
court advantage? Who's got the home court?
home ice.
Home ice.
That'd be Vegas.
Vegas. Okay.
Sergei Borovsky.
Bobrovsky.
Yeah,
you
so-
had that one down. didn't you?
cousin of Ash.
He's saving almost 95% of
But
the
you know, it's
shots.
funny, or it's not funny, but it was interesting to me that, and I think it's just the nature of sports, is they would say, like, let's say Ash was the goalie.
Yeah.
They would say, and Ash Wyatt gets,
Nuggets
gets
won
the
game
win.
one last night, too. We
Asher
didn't mention
Ruski.
that.
Ash Wade gets the win.
Yeah, Ash
in
Wade
goal.
Ruski.
It's almost like they make the goalie is like the pitcher.
Right.
You know, he gets the
Yeah,
win.
he gets the win. The goalie is the big shot.
He's the
right there.
win, yeah.
All
I
right,
would love
we're
to have
going
one of
Vegas,
those masks with all the
Denver.
scars on it.
We're going Vegas and Denver. Okay, and those two. All
There
right.
you go.
Next week we'll see how the college super regionals are
Which
matched
one
up.
will draw a bigger TV audience? The Stanley Cup Finals or the NBA Finals?
I'm not sure.
Probably
on
the
that.
Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup.
Probably
Yeah.
the NBA. I'll be honest. There's more NBA
Well,
fans watching.
yeah. I haven't watched hardly anything.
Well, you
but
can
this
And
one I
these
watched.
two teams, not exactly out of your media hotbeds.
No.
You
But Denver,
can watch
story.
hockey. You can watch the NBA while you're working that blunt. You can smoke that weed and watch the NBA because, like, whoa, man,
You
did
ain't
you
right.
see him jump? But it's hard to keep
You
up
ain't
with
right,
the puck,
boy.
right? If you're eating gummies, it's hard to keep up with that puck.
Yeah, you got to pay attention.
Do they highlight the puck
Plus,
now?
no,
They should.
no.
You be
Plus,
nice. Let him have his minute here, right here.
Man,
plus, a playoff hockey game is enthralling from start to finish.
it is.
Playoff basketball still is like every other basketball game. You can wait to the last 2 minutes in a close game, and you'll see all the action you need to
Ash,
see.
Denver was up, Britt, was 24 points in the second half, and they went down to like 9 points.
Oh, that always
Went down to
happens.
Yeah,
nine.
but 9 is nothing.
No.
Not-
run.
that's what I said. It went down to 9.
They
They
went
knocked
down to
off
9, though.
15
Scott
points.
Tomko, Will Vincent, each picking Florida in this one. So
Will Vincent laughs at the thought of you being in the
That
goal.
is nothing.
well, Will played some goalie.
You don't. There's not enough on you. There's not enough meat. We watched that.
But let's be honest, Will. Who owned you when you were goalie?
Uh-oh.
Ash bringing in some
All right, but
heat
you-
from his forward position.
He's hitting hard there.
Icing.
I've
You're hitting hard.
even got pictures.
If you're playing street hockey, do you asphalt? He's asphalting or icing.
Yeah.
I mean, do you
Hockey's-
high
there's no
stick
icing.
people
There's
in
no-
recreational hockey?
It happens.
Oh my god!
There's no
good.
icing in street
Hockey
hockey.
keeps you interested the last
Oh
second.
man, I guarantee. it.
Basketball, but you can have a 30-point lead and lose the ball game.
You know the difference, like in baseball, they stopped selling beer in say the seventh
Right,
inning.
right.
In hockey, they stopped selling beer at midnight
Yeah.
after the game was over at 9.
I knew that.
You just sit there and drink.
I
They
knew
don't
that.
care.
They don't care.
Fight, throw the squid, man.
You guys have a great weekend, boys.
Brother man,
You
we
too,
love
brother
you.
man.
Love y'all.
Folks, we love you guys and hope you have a great weekend.
Will admits it. He plays dirty.
Oh, yeah, he is dirty, no doubt. We love you guys. We're going to get out of here. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy your families and tune in on Monday. We'll be here.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.